I am a young innovator named Prajwal NH studying in 8th grade at BJ Public School, Bangalore, and today I would like to present to you the self-driven toy car. Currently, most of the toys are imported from China, and since this is the age of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, I thought to contribute something of my own, something unique and something innovative, and hence I came up with the idea of the self-driven toy car. Now, how does the self-driven toy car work? Well, the self-driven toy car avoids any obstacles. What does that mean? If there's any obstacle in the path of which it's traveling, then it immediately diverts itself into another direction. This obstacle may be immediately placed too. For example, if a kid is playing with the self-driven toy car and he puts his leg, hand or any other obstacle in front of it, well, the self-driven toy car is very smart and it takes the decision to divert itself rather than crashing into the obstacle. And a child can spend hours together playing with this toy. Now, let's see the components that reside within the self-driven toy car. Well, the first component that I would like to speak about is the brain of this entire robo, and it is none other than the microcontroller. Well, I have used a microcontroller that is Atmega 328P in the form of an Arduino for this prototype, but in mass production there will only be the microcontroller, that is the Atmega 328P, along with some other supporting components. Now, the second most important component would be the IC, that is the L293D motor driver IC, which is responsible for controlling the flow of the motors. Now, the third most important component I would like to name is the ultrasonic sensor. Now, the ultrasonic sensor is responsible for sensing the environment and seeing or sensing if there's any obstacle present in front of the board. Now, the ultrasonic sensor works on a very basic principle of physics that is based on sound, and as you would have already guessed, it works on ultrasound. Now, ultrasound waves have a tendency to reflect any object that it meets. Now, the ultrasonic sensor takes advantage of this principle. The ultrasonic sensor, as you can see, this is the ultrasonic sensor which looks like two little eyes. One of the barrels or one of the eye, which I can say, sends out an ultrasonic wave. Now, this ultrasonic wave is bounced back by any object that the sensor meets. And now the bounce back ultrasonic waves are read by the other eye or the other barrel, as you can see below. Now, the time taken for this sound to go and come back is calculated using the microcontroller, and this is converted into the distance. Now, the other component is the motors. Now, the motors are responsible for the board to go forward, backward, and as you've seen, I have used only two motors to not only reduce the cost but also make it uniquely technologically advanced. And for turning, both the motors move in opposite directions. So for turning right, it moves something like this, and then for turning left, it would move something like this. And for the frontmost wheel, I have used a small 360-degree rotating ball bearing which rotates in any direction. So this not only reduces the cost but also makes this toy look a bit more fashionable. Now, the other part is the PCB, as you can see above, which is going to eliminate all the wires that I have used. Now, I have used the basic PCB that's been designed by satyaki.co.in. What I am going to do in the mass production unit is I'm going to be eliminating all these wires, including the sensor, motor wires, the IC wires. I'm going to be converting it into a single laid out PCB, which is enclosed all within a plastic body instead of this metal chassis. Now, I've also the user or the person who's playing with the toy can put 4 AA batteries in order to operate this entire toy. Well, according to me, the total mass production cost of this toy shouldn't be more than 250 to 300 rupees. I've also used the Arduino programming language to program the functionality of all these other components through the Atmega 328P microcontroller. Now, let's see how I've made this entire board. Well, first we start by assembling the wheels. So these go here respectively. So you need to turn it a bit in order to fit it right. Okay, that's done. Now, wheels on this side. Alright, that looks good. Alright, now let's take the main PCB, that is this right here, the Satyaki shield, and let's place it on this microcontroller or the Arduino Uno. So there's a little bit wires that I've already pre-attached. So they go into the respective pins of these. So these are the male pins and these are the female pins here. So the male goes into the female. Okay, alright. So that's very snugly fit. Now the second step is to fit the motor wires. So these are the two motor wires respectively, and they have the jacks beside the ICs. So this goes to motor 2 and we'll put this to motor 1. Alright, and now the second thing would be to put these two wires, which are for the LEDs. Alright, that's snug in place. And now this is another wire for the same. So these are some extra. So we have the basic function, the basic connections made. Now let's make the connections for the sensors and the other things. Okay. So yeah, right. So we'll put it like this. So one is the yellow, orange, the orange wire and the red wire. So these are the digital pins respectively. They are 1, 2 and 3 here. So we'll just shift them. So it's been labeled right here. So this is digital pin 1, 2 and 3. Alright, now let's attach the instrument or the analog 8-digit segment, LED segment, which tells us the distance here. So this is optionally. So this we'll place it right here. Alright, now let's connect these wires to it. So it goes into the VCC and ground respectively. Alright, looks good. And we'll be needing 2 extra jumper wires. So alright, so let's put them here. So the ground and the VCC has been already made by the breadboard here, but yes, they can always be changed. So now these two will be respectively going 1 to the 13, okay, digital pin 13, and the other one to the analog pin A0. So alright, that looks nice and snug, and that's it. We are done. So this was the assembly of the board, and it is as simple as you can see here. And I had already attached the screws and the breadboard connections for the ground, because this will already be done. This will be done or inbuilt in the PCB, whereas the screws won't be applicable in the mass production unit, as it will be having a plastic body. Now let's see a demo of how this entire toy actually works.